we know that the crashed UFO debris that came down in Roswell was taken to Wright-Patterson.
Brigadier General Roger Ramey says that it is being shipped by air to the AAF Research Center at Wright Field, Ohio.
At the time, Wright Field, Ohio. And this is known. This isn't a maybe. This isn't like, oh, maybe the crash debris was brought there. It's a definite. We know that something was collected, and I highly, highly doubt it was a weather balloon, okay? But whatever was found, it was brought to Wright Field, Ohio, which is now Wright-Patterson. At that time, at Wright-Patterson, they immediately, in 1947, start a project called Project Sign. Same year, Project Sign starts. You're like, what's Project Sign? That's what we know it as. For the ones that actually worked on it, they knew it as Project Saucer, because it was the first time that, we ever thought of flying saucers and stuff. This all happened this year, so they called the project Project Saucer. The rest of us, we refer to it as Project Sign. And basically, they were looking into what are these things that we're seeing. And this isn't the first time. One came crashing down and now we have it. But you have to remember, like the band, the Foo Fighters is what they were seeing in the air during World War II, where we were seeing these objects already, wondering, like, can we shoot at these things? What are these things? And that's when it was first reported. So now we're in 1947, and they immediately start a project called Project Sign, a.k.a. Project Saucer. All right? 2 years later, they switch it up again to Project Grudge. Okay, so they're switching it up now. They're not really figuring out what to do with this. The public can't know about it. So there's all these secret little projects going on. So it starts off one, then it goes to the next one. And then finally, in 1952, the one that most of us know from all the TV shows and whatnot, Project Blue Book, okay, 1952. Now, what also happened in 1952 was when the UFOs appeared over the White House. Okay, and again, this isn't like, did somebody draw this or whatever. This is an actual thing that happened that was recorded, where even it went to like national news where they had to address it in a press conference. Like, this was a big deal because people with their own eyes saw these objects hovering over the White House. And this happened for about like 2 weeks in a row, from about July 12th to about the 29th, it says, is when it started. So from July 12th to the 29th, these objects were appearing all over like Capitol buildings, all over important places in Washington. And people were seeing them, and it was scaring them. So what we did, our government sent our jets up to chase these UFOs, or at least see what they are, like get a better look. And when our jets went up, the objects disappeared. And then so our jets came back down, and the second that they touched the ground, the objects appeared again on radar. And this happened on July 19th. So it was just a couple of days. We were seeing these objects in the sky from the 12th. Then on the 19th is when the government saw them on radar and sent jets up to chase these things. So you got to remember that all of this is like actual things that happen. This isn't maybes. This isn't like, I don't know if UFOs exist, but if aliens are real. It's 100% that at least we might not know if they're extraterrestrial, but something up there is flying around. And you also need to remember that Project Blue Book wasn't started to kind of like, look into this little fantasy thing. It was started to make sure that these objects in the sky were not a national security threat. Remember that.